Dear students, today we will be learning the 8th lesson, continuity of part 2. First, let us learn what is a continuous function. We normally represent a function as y is equal to f of x. And suppose we draw the graph of this function and find that this graph has no breaks or jumps. Then we say that this graph is a continuous one. Also, we say that the function f is also continuous. Continuity of a function at a point. Let f be a function given as y is equal to f of x. Then f is said to be continuous at the point x is equal to a if three conditions are given for satisfying this function a continuous function. F is defined at x is equal to a. F is defined at x equal to a means f of a exists. Second one, limit x tends to a f of x exists. That means limit x tends to a plus f of x is equal to limit x tends to a minus f of x. What is this limit x tends to a plus? It is the right hand limit. And limit x tends to a minus f of x is the limit of the function, that is left hand limit of the function f of x. Third one, limit x tends to a plus f of x is equal to limit x tends to a minus f of x is equal to f of a. That is, the value of the limit should be equal to f of a. If all these three conditions are satisfied, then we can say that the function f is continuous function. We have seen that there are three conditions should be satisfied for a function to become continuous. And if any of the above conditions fails, then the function f is said to be discontinuous at x is equal to a. And this point x is equal to a is called the point of discontinuity of the function f of x. Now we will learn more about the discontinuity of the function. Discontinuity of a function at a point. Let y is equal to f of x be a function and f is not continuous at the point x is equal to a. Then f is said to be discontinuous at x is equal to a. Now the function f is discontinuous due to any one of the following reasons. First, we assume that f is defined at the point x is equal to a. That means f of a exists. Then the first one, limit x tends to a minus f of x or limit x tends to a plus f of x or both may not exist. That means left hand limit or right hand limit or both may not exist. Then we can say that the function is discontinuous, and the other two conditions can be limit x tends to a minus f of x and limit x tends to a plus f of x both exist but they are not equal. That is, limit x tends to a minus f of x not equal to limit x tends to a plus f of x. And the third condition can be limit x tends to a minus f of x and limit x tends to a plus f of x, and they are equal also. They exist and they are equal. Both may not be equal to f of a. That is, first condition, the left and right hand limit exist. And the second condition, left limit and right limits both are equal. And the third condition may not be satisfied, that is, both of them equal to may not be equal to f of a. So the third condition fails. So we can say that the function is discontinuous at x is equal to a. Based on the above conditions, the discontinuity is divided into two. Jump discontinuity, first one, and removable discontinuity is the second one. What is jump discontinuity? This type of discontinuity occurs at x is equal to a when the left hand and right hand limit of the function f of x exist but are different. That means left hand limit is not equal to right hand limit. Here we say that f has a jump discontinuity at x is equal to a. Second one is removable discontinuity. The function f has a removable discontinuity at x is equal to a if either limit x tends to a f of x exists but f of a is not defined. limit x tends to a f of x exists means left hand limit and right hand limits are equal. Or limit x tends to a f of x exists and f of a is defined but they are not equal. So this condition also can be the for a function to be discontinuous, and which is a removable discontinuity. In this case, we can make the function f of x continuous at x is equal to a by redefining the function at x is equal to a as f of a is equal to limit x tends to a f of x. That is, after finding the value of the limit, we will equate the value with the f of a. Then the new function obtained after redefining is called the extension of the original function f of x. Another type of discontinuity, that is infinite discontinuity. In this case, we don't get a finite value for the left limit or right limit. That is, a function f of x is said to have an infinite discontinuity at x is equal to a if limit x tends to a minus f of x is equal to plus or minus infinity, or limit x tends to a plus f of x is equal to plus or minus infinity. Now, continuity over an interval. We have already learned that continuity at a point. Now we will learn continuity over an interval. Let interval AB is an open interval. We represent the open interval as the numbers or limits are written inside a bracket, that is, and separated by comma. If for every x belongs to open interval AB and f is continuous at x, then we say that f is continuous on AB. That is, f is continuous at x means f is continuous at every value of x belongs to this interval. So we can say that the function is continuous on the open interval AB. Now, using these all results, we will solve the sums of exercise 8.1. Question number 1, first question. Examine the continuity of f of x is equal to x cube plus 2x square minus x minus 2 at x is equal to minus 2. We have to check the function is continuous or not at the point x is equal to minus 2. Here the function is a polynomial function, and we know that polynomial function is continuous for all values of x. So we say that f of x is equal to x cube plus 2x square minus x minus 2 is a polynomial, and hence it is continuous at x is equal to minus 2. Question number 1, second question. Examine the continuity of f of x is equal to sin x for x less than or equal to pi upon 4 and f of x is equal to cos x for x greater than pi upon 4 at the point x is equal to pi upon 4. Here note that the function f of x is a trigonometric function. When if a function is trigonometric function, then the variable will be the angles. So here there are different values for x, two types of values. So the the function is divided into two parts for different values of x. If the value of x is less than or equal to pi upon 4, that is 45 degree, then the function is sin x, and if the value of the angle, that is x, greater than pi upon 4, then the function is cos x. Now we will write the given function first, and we calculate the left hand limit and right hand limit. First, limit x tends to pi upon 4 minus f of x is equal to limit x tends to pi upon 4 sin x. Why it is like that? Limit x tends to pi upon 4 minus means left hand limit, that is the value of x is approaching pi upon 4 from left, means x less than or equal to pi upon 4. So the function is sin x. So now we get the value of the limit by direct substitution of x is equal to pi upon 4. So sin pi upon 4 is equal to 1 upon root 2. So we got the value of the left hand limit. Now we find the value of the right hand limit, that is limit x tends to pi upon 4 plus f of x. That means x approaches pi upon 4 from right, means x is greater than or equal to pi upon 4. Here It is x greater than only, x greater than pi upon 4. So the corresponding function is cos x. So we write f of x as cos x. And again we get the value by direct substitution of x is equal to pi upon 4. So cos pi upon 4 is again 1 upon root 2 only. Here also we can say that f of pi upon 4 is, here f of pi upon 4 means f of x when x is equal to pi upon 4. Here in the first interval there is equal to sign also, means the function will be sin x when x is equal to pi upon 4 also. So we can write f of pi upon 4 as sin pi upon 4. Sin pi upon 4. Pi upon 4 we have already got here, that is 1 upon root 2. That is, all the three conditions are satisfied. That first one, f of a, that is f of pi upon 4 exists. And second one, both the limits are equal. And the third condition, both the limits equal and they are equal to the f of pi upon 4 value. So these all three conditions satisfied means the function f of x is continuous at the point x is equal to pi upon 4. Question number 1, third one. Examine the continuity of f of x is equal to x square minus 9 upon x minus 3 for x is not equal to 3 and f of x is equal to 8 for x is equal to 3. At the point x is equal to 3. Here note that we have two different functions for different values of x. When x is equal to 3, the function value is 8, and when x not equal to 3, the function is written x square minus 9 upon x minus 3. Now from the question we can see that when x is equal to 3, f of x is 8 means we can directly write it as f of 3 is equal to 8. Take it as equation number 1. Now, when x not equal to 3 means limit x tends to 3, f of x is equal to limit x tends to 3, x square minus 9 upon x minus 3. When x not equal to 3, we can take that f of x as x square minus 9 upon x minus 3. And numerator function can be factorized as x minus 3 into x plus 3 because it is of the form a square minus b square means 9 is 3 square. And we can cancel this non-zero factor. Why it is non-zero? Because x not equal to 3. So x minus 3 not equal to 0. So we can cancel these non-zero factors. So the limit x tends to 3, x plus 3 remains. Now we can find the value of the limit by directly substituting x is equal to 3. So 3 plus 3 is equal to 6, equation number 2. You can observe that equation number 1 f of 3 is 8 and equation number 2 limit x tends to f of 3, x tends to 3, f of x is 6. Both are not equal. So the condition is not satisfied for a function to be continuous. So we say that f is discontinuous at x is equal to 3. Question number 2, second one. Examine whether the function is continuous at the points indicated against them. Here the function is f of x is equal to x square plus 18x minus 19 upon x minus 1 for x not equal to 1 and f of x is equal to 20 for x is equal to 1. Here the function is same as the previous question. And note that here the intervals are not given. That means x is less than or equal to or x greater than or equal to form. It's not given. So we don't want to find the left hand limit and right hand limit. So we will find only the limit x tends to 1 f of x. Now we will calculate the limit x tends to 1 f of x. That is, we have to choose only the function when x not equal to 1 for the limit x tends to 1. So limit x tends to 1, x square plus 18x minus 19 upon x minus 1. And the numerator is a quadratic polynomial, so we can factorize it. So x into x plus here the middle term, by splitting the middle term we can factorize this polynomial. And while splitting the middle term, we know that we should get the coefficients as the product will be minus 19 and the sum will be plus 18. So the factors will be plus 19 and minus 1. So we split the middle term as plus 19x minus x minus 19. And again we can take the common factors from first two terms as x, then x into x plus 19, and in the last two terms we will take the common factor as minus 1 into x plus 19. So again in these two terms x plus 19 is common. So take x plus 19 outside. So x plus 19 into x minus 1. And we can cancel this non-zero factor x minus 1. So limit x tends to 1, x plus 19, that is 1 plus 19 by directly substituting x is equal to 1, which is equal to 20. Also from the question we will get f of 1, that is when x is equal to 1, function is 20, means f of 1 is 20. Here in both the cases limit x tends to 1 f of x and f of 1 values are equal. So we can say that the function is continuous at x is equal to 1. Now remaining sums we will solve in the next video. Thank you.